This conference will now be recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting, January 14th, 2025. We have agenda in front of us. I have number 13. Can we move it up to number 6 due to a timing issue for that gentleman? He needs to be earlier. So number 13 to number 6. That is the only thing that needs to be adjusted. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as changed?
We'll move to approve the agenda as changed or noted by the chair.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
I seconded.
And seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Nays? All right, approve the minutes of the January 6th meeting, January 7th meetings, and January 8th meetings with the claims. Everyone have time to read over all the minutes? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mark made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Todd seconded. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
All right, county attorney.
I don't really have anything for you this morning. Probably gonna be heading out of here before too long, go up to the courtroom. So,
Anyone have?
I do have one quick question, being kind of new to the claims part. The public official library, can you tell me a little bit of what that is, or on the claims, the monthly?
the what? Public officials
The
library?
public official library, yeah. So is that like an annual fee or?
In your claims, there was a line
In your
item,
claims.
public officials claims, the house type.
Right,
Is it public officials library or public officials liability?
Library.
library.
I don't have sliced idea. I'll ask Becky. Maybe,
Okay.
I wonder if she got a typo.
It was a little over $3,000, so
But let me
I,
clear, I suspect it's liability and that there's a typo.
Okay.
But I don't
All
know
right.
that. So
Okay.
let me make sure.
all right,
And obviously, you're sitting there thinking, well, Murphy, you ought to know. I'm thinking, well, I think I do know, but let me, and then I'll answer the question,
okay.
once I know, okay?
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Any
Appreciate
other
that.
questions? Nope. All right, sheriff update.
Morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
So I have December fees for you this morning in the amount of $5,915.43.
Is there a motion to approve sheriff's report for $5,915.43?
I move to approve the sheriff's report for the $5,915.43 for the month of December.
Pam made motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Jim second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Mark.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
I guess the only other thing I have for you, we're at $10,250 in funds raised towards the new K-9, and that was turned over to Shannon this morning, so we're on track there to meet our goal.
Very good.
Okay, that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
Questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Department head discussion.
Yeah. Conservation Board had our monthly meeting last week. It was moved up a week due to the budget process you guys have going in place. So next month we will go back to the second Tuesday. Things we had on the agenda that we discussed. Mitchell Mill Dam repairs, the second payment was awarded or paid out. So we are done with that project. We'll probably get one more bill in the future on that. Basically now waiting for rainfall and weather to basically raise the reservoir up. So we need snow and rain to go ahead and do that. Project's been completed, all the paperwork's been submitted, so all the reports and stuff are done on that. We also reviewed quotes for docks and floats for part of the FEMA repairs. We had 2 boat docks, 1 swim dock, and then all those 30 floats. Those are being taken care of, so we've got quotes on those, we selected those, and then we did the budget report. We also had in the agenda possible discussion on land acquisition, but there was no discussion as the family still discussing the offer we made on a piece of property, so nothing to update on there. That's what we had going on for a board meeting. Any questions? All right, that's all I needed. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other department head? I don't see anybody online. Okay, we'll move on to number 13, discussion and possible action on moratorium extension.
So I put this on the agenda. We had a moratorium in place so that there would be no applications for the wind turbines until we got an ordinance drafted, and that's in the process. I believe it's fairly complete, but the moratorium ended December 31st. I didn't know if the board wanted to extend it until we made sure that the ordinance was completely complete. John Robbins with NIACOG has been working with the ordinance. There were some procedural conflicts within the draft and our existing zoning ordinance, and so that's what he was cleaning up. John, do you want to elaborate anything or give a recommendation if we do need an extension on the moratorium or anything?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So I've been working with Amanda to incorporate the wind turbine ordinance along with battery storage. So it's an actual amendment in your zoning ordinance. That process can always, happen independently, but it's pretty regular practice to have moratoriums in Iowa when you're addressing certain types of uses or something like that. So it can happen independently, but oftentimes those are put in place just so you don't, even if it's not likely, so you're not surprised by like a surprise application for like a wind farm or something like that. While it's not likely, it's pretty regular practice and nothing that would be like weird or anything to do.
So, how is the ordinance coming along, and we spoke last night at the NIACOG meeting, so I asked you these questions. How is the ordinance coming along, and in regards to the timeline for things that you want to do in regards with our zoning administrator and the zoning commission and public hearings? Can you explain maybe a timeline and what we'll be looking at for an extension if needed?
Sure. So we have a draft worked up. We also worked in consultation with your county conservation, county emergency management, and county engineer for the draft. Wanted to get that done before Amanda went on leave. So we have that ready. And then when she's back at the end of March, the plan is to basically get feedback from your planning and zoning commission on changes they'd like to see on things like setbacks and whatnot. A lot of that is largely unchanged from what they gave previously, but some of it has been amended based on like feedback from your county conservation or county emergency management and whatnot. If we just kind of go through the regular, process of going through an ordinance update or amendment, I would anticipate probably about 3 or 4 months, assuming everything goes smoothly. But this type of use tends to have a lot of debate. And so if you would desire things like education or on what is all in that ordinance, it could take longer, kind of would depend on the process the county would like to go through. If you want additional, like a board staff with the supervisors, things like that, our contract covers, the regular ordinance process and workshopping the draft with your commission. But we also added some flexibility in there to do, education, talk about what's all in the ordinance for batteries and wind, if you would desire. So that flexibility is just like $300 a meeting. If you want additional meetings beyond just the regular ordinance process. So there's some flexibility if you do desire to kind of change up how you want to do things or add additional things like that.
And so Amanda gets back at the end of March and sort of go through the process with the commission and stuff. If we did a 6-month extension to the moratorium, would that work, or less or more than that, or what do you
It'd
think?
probably be close because I, in all honesty, I could see a lot of discussion, if not, frankly, like controversy over the use. If you have a lot of people that are against or for, or a lot of disagreement, that can extend things pretty considerably. So I don't know if you want to do like 6 to 8 months, just with factoring in leave and that sort of thing. You're probably not running into anything with disturbing any existing project that's under like development or where they're trying to estimate feasibility. That's my understanding. So that'd be probably 6 to 8 months would probably be just if you want to be safe, I suppose, with that.
Thank you for that update. So you just want it,
I just wanted to talk about it this morning, and then the board can think about it, just see what they think, and put it on the agenda for another time if we choose to take action on it.
So do I understand that the moratorium right now has already expired,
Yes.
December 31st?
yes. It's expired.
So it's not probably going to happen, but what could happen? The ordinance was developed so that the wind turbines had to build it with certain guidelines,
Right,
rather than just
right.
coming here.
Yep.
And so since the moratorium is not in place anymore, theoretically, they could throw a bunch of applications on the table this week and begin the process where, and that's not gonna happen, but with the moratorium, they can't do that until the ordinance has been put in place. That's the deal.
Well, if we've already done a considerable amount of work to safeguard citizens and work on an ordinance, it seems rather foolish to let this gap in time frame sit.
I agree.
So I guess I would move at this point that we extend the moratorium until September the 1st to be on the safe side of 2025. And that hopefully we would
I'll second that.
have some.
All right, Pam made a motion to extend the moratorium till September 1st, 2025. Jim seconded. Any further discussion?
We'll have to get a resolution put in place in order to do this and approve it by resolution, but I mean, this is just a thing today that indicates that this is what we want to do, but it'll have to be done through resolution.
Roll call, Jim,
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, John, for being on this morning.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll go back up to the county engineer update.
Can I just wanted to answer, you had that question earlier.
Yes.
It's public officials liability.
Okay,
Typo on there.
all right. Thank you very much.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does.
All right.
I was a little puzzled.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Here.
Good morning, Rich.
Morning. Just have a couple of final pay vouchers for our construction we had over the summer. The Line Film Road and patch on Orchard Road. The Orchard Road patch was awarded at $125,878. Final payment will be, final project cost will be $122,468.96. This payment will be for $3,429.57. That'll be the retainage on that one. And then the other one was for line kiln. Authorized amount was $346,932. We had to pay for some incentives on the asphalt. So the final cost of that would be $360,526.94. This current payment will be $10,850.81. That would be the retainage and any other extras we have. So if I get those finals approved, I can get these projects closed out with DOT.
Is there a motion to approve final payment, pay vouchers for FMCO 66-8755-66 and FMCO 66-89-55-66?
I'll make the motion.
Mark made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Tom. Mark.
Right?
Pam.
Aye.
Cindy.
Aye.
Jim.
And hopefully next week I'll have our SDP project. We're still waiting on some documents yet from the contractor on some traffic control diaries and things like that that they need to submit to us so we can find it out. Other than that, if you drive by the yard, you'll probably see a few, we went and picked up some, we haven't purchased them yet, but we want to try out because signals that we had, one of our subcontractors, Drought Scouts, had purchased some portable stop signals or yield signals or whatever. He kind of refurbished them a little bit. We want to give them a try this spring and summer, see how well they work for us. And if they work well, we'll probably try to purchase them. There's 4 units sitting out there. We probably don't need all 4, but we might buy some in Worth County too, depending on what it is. But I want to see if there's something that would benefit us instead of, sometimes we do concrete patching, we put up stop signs and sometimes that's probably not the most effective thing. It's legal, but if we have some lighting, maybe we can avoid having certain, during the day even, we can have more guys working instead of flagging. So we'll see if that works out for us or not. But if you drive by and you see them there, they're just sitting there waiting for us to try them out. So other than that's all I got for you this morning.
Any other questions for the engineer? Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Number 7, wellness program discussion and approval to participate. Morning, Shannon.
As you know, every January we have to vote whether or not we want to participate in wellness with ISAC. They give us a stipend for the program, and then in return, if we get the 5 points, which is 1 point for the assessments, and then it's it steps up for percentage or points for every percentage, starting at 60 of employees that do their annual wellness physical. So I'm just requesting you guys consider doing that again this year. Last year, our 5% was $52,083.60 is what the county received for the 5% discount because we did achieve that. So it was worth it. And then this week, everyone is, I know yesterday I got my check from Voya because they paid for the $100 that employees get for doing the wellness physical. And then the other incentives are paid through ISAC for the walking and for the doing the assessment. So. Any questions?
Any questions?
I know we talked about it in my budget hearing too. So.
Is there a motion to approve to participate in the wellness program?
So moved.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
And second. Any discussion?
Roll call, Cindy.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
So I'll have this signed by Sandy, and then I'll send this in. Mark's our board supervisors rep that's required, so.
Thank you.
And I'll give a copy to you, Rich.
Motion passes. Okay. On to approved treasurer's semi-annual report.
And so I come in monthly and tell you what we did to earn the money. And then every 6 months by code, the treasurer is required to do a report, a semi-annual report that then gets published in the paper. So the first page, it's very similar to the monthly report you get of the funds in the county. So the net balance in the bank accounts, just banking and savings type accounts, was $16,434,222.02. Cash in the drawer, which is December 31st, that was our motor vehicle deposit that hadn't been taken to the bank, plus our base money that we keep in the office. And that was $28,786.90. Certificates of deposit balance was $2,335,259.81. So the total cash on hand and in banks was $18,798,268.73. Any questions? Interest is still staying about the same, so we'll see how that ends for the next couple months.
Is there a motion to approve treasurer's semi-annual report?
I'll make that motion.
Todd made a motion,
Second.
Mark second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Sydney.
You have the paper for them also. Okay. So Rachel will have you guys sign that and then we'll get it published. Thank you. I'm not sure if Aaron's talked yet or not, but I know there was a question about the New Haven cemetery check. That was deposited last week. Haven't heard anything, so
All right, good.
it is good to file the deed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Next up, approved auditor's quarterly report.
Okay, we received 12 township clerk funds for $120, liquor license and beer permits, $711.56, plat books, $233, miscellaneous fees, $803.07, and then passport fees, $4,165, for a total of $6,032.63.
Is there a motion to approve auditor's quarterly report for $6,032.63?
I move to approve the auditor's quarterly report for $6,032.63.
Pam made a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Todd second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approve recorder's report for December. Looks like it's $8,572.42. Is there a motion to approve recorder's report for $8,572.42?
Move to approve the recorder's report.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Pam second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 11, discussion and possible action on sheriff hiring short-term IT up to 160 hours. So I put this on the agenda. I asked Casey to be here. That is who sheriff would like to hire up to 160 hours. Casey has been in communication with Ryan.
Yep, and the sheriff. So last week I met with the sheriff just to kind of get an idea of the things that he needed done over at the sheriff's office. And then I met with Ryan that evening just to kind of go over those items.
And how long do you actually think it would take you to get everything done? Do you think you'll exceed it?
Oh, no, I won't even come close. It would be, for the items that we discussed, I would say 10 to 15 hours. And then, anything after that would be pretty small, I would think. I know there's some things that like Emily and Jen, just small like desktop configuration items that they needed, but I don't think it would exceed more than 15 hours.
And Ryan, you're okay with?
Yeah, we've discussed it.
Yeah, I discussed with Ryan, you know, where a thing where I can work with him, just to kind of get him caught up. And obviously I'll need access to some things, so I would need Ryan's help with that. So.
Sure. You have any questions, Ryan?
I don't have any questions or anything to add, so we have a service to provide and we gotta have stuff.
Sounds good.
Together, I think they get it figured out.
All right.
Would this be happening during the day or would it be happening after hours type stuff? Or?
So actually, next Monday, I can come in and probably, get a lot of those items done.
Good.
During the day, so, I checked with Ryan, he'll be available, he said, so.
Very good.
Otherwise, after that, it might be a couple hours here and there, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, is there a motion to hire short-term IT?
I'll make that motion.
Mark made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Mark.
Right.
Pam.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Ryan. Next up is IT updates.
All right, so this will mostly be questions since it hasn't been too long since we last met. I did go to Worth County with ISIT to conduct a survey on their IT system over the last week. That was, it's always a very good learning experience to go out with those guys. And it's also nice considering the relationship between Worth and Mitchell County when it comes to the jail, to put some faces to names. During that, I had some discussions with Joel, kind of informal, about what's been going on since we're pretty busy doing the actual survey for Worth County. We are going to meet tomorrow for a little bit more in-depth discussion about what's going on in the department. And then I know Pam would like to be the person who would then meet with him probably in February. Is when we would start creating that cadence for how we're going to handle all that. And I know the board is looking for monthly IT updates. So that's something we'll be able to provide as well. Outside of a few IT related things, I have been working on the ticketing system we talked about previous week. I'm going to use a program that's called Spiceworks, which is what does the ticketing system. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it does have that ability I wanted where department heads or whomever can see tickets from their departments, or whoever would like to see what's going on department wide as possible. It also has a nice notification feature right on the front of the ticketing system, which I could see being used for any IT outages if I'm out of the office, if I need to be able to quickly communicate anything to the staff. When they would click on that portal, it would show the message as well. That is not ready yet. I'm hoping to have that ready by the end of the month. You got to test it. So it's getting it ready and then testing it to be able to be completely rolled out by the beginning of February is my goal.
So if I had an issue with IT or computer or something like that, how would I get into the ticketing system or what's?
So it'll be a URL, which just like any other website. Generally what I've done in the past is I've automatically put an icon for it on everyone's desktop. To me, that's kind of worked the best. So, it's all in the same location for everybody, and then it's just as easy as clicking on that and pulling up a website and filling out a bit of information to get the process started.
Is Joel coming here or are you meeting?
I'm meeting Joel. Well, I'm sure he'll come here, for a little while. But Joel, he likes to do Joel things when it comes to that. But I feel a little bit better about the support. It was good to meet the District 2 IT guys. We had a lot of time to talk together and form those relationships, which is huge for everybody, every county that's right around us. So that was a big positive as well.
I just want to share that I had an opportunity to visit with Ryan the other day and we had a good conversation about, how we can continue to grow that part. And I really appreciate his willingness to, work cooperatively with Casey. And so I think that's great steps. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Any other questions?
What are your thoughts on, just myself, I keep walking in your office and asking you for help. Do you want me not to do that anymore?
No, definitely not. I want to be sure I'm available if anybody has questions, regardless of, that could be the first line is talking to me directly. That's not, I wouldn't expect you, if we're just here, to submit a ticket when you could just jump in my office.
So thank you.
And I would assume that when you get done with your testing of the ticket system, then you'll maybe bring us all together and do just a little bit of training.
Correct. Yes, that'll also be a part of
And
it.
then
Is
that's
the
part of it. Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah, for sure. And then I plan on going around to all the departments. It's easy enough to just talk to them directly. So that's what I've done in the past, to just make sure everybody's on the same page. That's my goal.
Thank you.
Good.
Sounds very good.
Great. Thank you, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's 10:15. Number 14, approve construction evaluation resolution 1254-25.
I'll speak on it a little bit. This is what Penny Morris was talking about last week. We have to complete this in January if we want to look at any new construction that come up from February 1st, 2025 to January 31st of 2026.
My throat is a little scratchy, so excuse my talking. Resolution 1254-25, construction evaluation resolution. Whereas Iowa Code Section 459.304 sets out the procedure if a Board of Supervisors wishes to adopt a construction evaluation resolution relating to the construction of the confinement feeding operation structure. And whereas other counties that have adopted a construction evaluation resolution can submit to the Department of Natural Resources, the DNR, and adopted recommendations to approve or disapprove a construction permit application regarding a proposed confinement feeding operation structure. And whereas only counties that have adopted a construction evaluation resolution and submitted an adopted recommendation may contest the DNR's decision regarding a specific application. And whereas by adopting a construction evaluation resolution, the Board of Supervisors agrees to evaluate every construction permit application for a proposed confinement feeding operation structure received by the Board of Supervisors between February 1st, 2025 and January 31st, 2026, and submit an adopted recommendation regarding the application to the DNR. And whereas the Board of Supervisors must conduct an evaluation of every construction permit application using the master matrix created in the Iowa Code Section 459.305, but the board's recommendation to the DNR may be based on the final score on the master matrix or may be based on reasons other than the final score on the master matrix. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Mitchell County that the Board of Supervisors hereby adopts this construction evaluation resolution pursuant to Iowa Code Section 459-304. Signed this date. Is there a motion to approve construction evaluation resolution 1254-25?
I'll move to approve resolution 1254-.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mark made a second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Mark.
Motion passes. We are down to number 15. Consideration of Substance Abuse Coalition FY '26.
Morning, Betty.
Good morning. And I want to say, I just have to share this with you because in 1974, I was campaigning for the Board of Supervisors. And the men in the district said, what is a woman running for that job for? What do you know about roads? And I thought, my God, there's so much more to know than roads. Anyway, it is so great to see two women on the board. And I know that women always have to do research to prove that they know what they're doing. And it's so interesting to know that both of you two are serving in the district that I served in. So thank you so much for your participation on this Board of Supervisors.
Thank you,
I wanted to kind of bring up to date, and many of you have heard about the Prime for Life, but because Pam is new, and so I provided just exactly what I'm going to be reporting, but because of the people that are present here too, some time ago, and I can't even tell you how many years ago, we were asked to do Prime for Life, and it's a program for ninth graders, and it has to do with the use of alcohol and drugs and the use and abuse. And so anyway, we started doing this way back when there was state funding for the program. And I can't tell you just exactly when, but it was when Brenda Dreyer was the economic development person. And the state no longer had funds for this Prime for Life program. And the Mitchell County Substance Abuse Coalition then decided they would take it over because we were the ones that had started the program, and that we would look for ways to fund it. So I wrote a grant, and Pam, you will be on that board, I understand, because you're taking over the things that Mike was.
Correct.
So you'll be involved in that.
Yep.
Anyway, I wrote a grant to the FEMC, the Foundation for Enhancement of Mitchell County, and that money comes from the different gambling things, because every county, whether or not they have a casino or not, gets some state funds. So anyway, I wrote a grant and we got the money. We got enough for the whole program for for a year. Then the next year I went back, wrote the same grant, and Brenda Dreyer said, we can't write the same grant, a grant for the same thing twice. But we do have discretionary funds. So I would encourage you to write, a request for discretionary funds, look at what the total program will cost, ask for discretionary funds, and see if the Board of Supervisors, perhaps we can split that, if they will match what we give. So we came up with the cost of the program. FEMC agreed to half of it, and we asked the Board of Supervisors for a match, and that's what they've done. And it's always come out of the general fund before, I guess. Isn't that where it's come from before? Yeah. Then, some years ago, a little bit about the program. We found out that when we started the program, binge drinking was a big thing then, and we were way above state average. Anyway, they do a youth survey every 2 years to determine how drugs and alcohol and everything that's being done in every county and city. And so this program has significantly reduced that. And now we're into heroin and, meth and all those things too. So all of that is included in this program. So anyway, when the state started having the opioid settlement funds, and I think the first year, they were giving to every county, I think, and some counties chose not to take the money. So I don't remember, was the first year maybe that you got 5,000?
The opioid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It wasn't much.
No.
And then some counties didn't take it. So it's my understanding that the counties that didn't take it, they took those funds and they divided them amongst the counties, I suppose, because on population, I would imagine. Anyway, I talked to Rachel the other day and she was telling, she named some of the checks because you get a number of checks for that fund, right?
Yep.
8 or 9 different checks.
Yep, so far.
And she started naming some of the places they came from. And it sounded to me like it's a lot like the 340B program at the hospital. We get money from pharmacies that sell prescription drugs. It sounds to me like a lot of that money, because I think you said Walmart, Walgreens and some of those, and those are pharmacies. So it seems to me that perhaps some of that money that's going into the opioid settlement funds for the whole state is coming, from those places too. Now that could, disappear at one of these times. We're constantly looking at the hospital. I happen to be on the trustees there, on whether or not we're going to continue to get 340B funds, because it's really been a great thing. But at any rate, right now, I asked Rachel what there was in the fund, and $74,000.
$657.88.
How much?
$657.88.
Okay, so the only way that those funds can be spent is for opioid-related programs. So it's not something that you can use for all the 99 funds, So at any rate, because of the funds that you have there, we have been getting half from FEMC, half from here. And we've decided this year, because of all those funds at the Subsidies Coalition meeting, we thought that all those funds, we ought to ask for them from the opioid settlement funds from the county, because you can't spend them for anything else. It's very limited. But what those funds are being spent for right now is the Prime for Life, the theater ad, and then most recently, the Osage School has a TV ad at their sports things, and they have been sending a bill for that. And that's all that's coming out. When they decided to have these opioid settlement funds, they sent the Subsidies Coalition, the Board of Supervisors, everybody, memorandum of understanding as to what those funds could be spent for. And if you all recall, there were a number of subheadings, and there were all kinds of things under it. But it was pretty much the same thing under everyone. I mean, it was very limited. And we all came back with what they could be spent for. So I know way back when, and I know I had to come and ask for extra funds because St. Ansgar had 3 classes a couple of years ago. And Mark, you even made a motion to give a little bit more than what I asked for. I think I asked for 2,000 or 2,200 and you made it 2,500. But at any rate, we are dependent solely on funding from other sources for Prime for Life. I mean, it's up to us to find the funds. So at our last meeting, because of the amount of money that is in the county fund and the few purposes that can be used, to spend those funds for, we are asking for all of the funds for Prime for Life to come from the opioid settlement funds. And I talked to FEMC and I talked to Gina Goddard, who's kind of the principal person I deal with, and they certainly, and I did mention this to Jim too, I mean, they certainly have other uses for their discretionary funds. So they would be very, very happy to have it all come from here. So we are asking the Board of Supervisors, and on your thing, I had put just what we'd asked for in the past. And I found that in the meantime, and I didn't even think about it, but we're asking for 7,000. Jay Peddley does, and he is a prevention specialist. In fact, he's a trainer for the whole United States, really. I mean, he's, qualified to do it for that. And because he used to work for Prairie Ridge and he doesn't have the overhead. So he was charging $50 an hour, but he's raised his price to $60. And so I didn't figure that in when I put the 6,000. And then there's a little more mileage because of the prevention specialist. Prairie Ridge is doing the one for St. Ansgar. For a time, St. Ansgar for about 2 years didn't have it because Jay had been doing the program there. And whether or not they didn't care for Jay, I don't know what the reason was. But at any rate, they didn't have the program for a couple of years. And then Prairie Ridge went back and they are now having the program. And 2 years ago, when they did the program, they had 3 different classes and it cost us more than we had it cost us almost what we had asked for in total for all of Praying for Life because of 3 classes. Prairie Ridge charges $75 an hour. And they do have all the overhead, of their people, benefits, the overhead of Prairie Ridge and everything. So that is where we're at. So
Prime for Life, you're asking 7,000.
we are asking for, I had put 6,000, I forgot, that the other things had gone up. And rather than retype it this morning, I put 7,000. Because I had done the budget last night. Because I just found out, number one, we have only done, Jay has done the first semester class in Osage. That's all that's been done for this school year. He will do the second semester in February. Riceville will be done after the first year. Jay won't be doing that, but he had jury duty in January, so he won't be doing it till February. And then St. Ansgar did the first class. Now they've changed it again. They were doing all the classes a year ago in the second semester. And we had been used to doing them in the second semester. They changed them 2 years ago to the first semester. So when the prevention specialists went there to, get all the scheduling done for the second semester, they said, sorry, our health classes were all the first semester, so we didn't do it that year. So anyway, but they're back to doing it, and now they're doing the first class in the first semester. They're doing a class in the second semester. The only thing we paid for this year, and the only class that's happened, is the first semester in Osage. So in visiting with the sheriff and police departments, because I did this because I have another thing to talk to you about, the methadone clinic. But I was wondering about heroin use in Mitchell County, at Prairie Ridge, it was told that there was a prevalence of that. And Jessica Kittleson is on the board with me, and on the way home, she said, I don't believe that. She said, we really ought to be talking to the law, our law enforcement departments and really find out. Well, I did talk to the law, and they said, oh, absolutely. She's right. There is a prevalence of heroin in Mitchell County. And yes, it's a good expenditure, So anyway, that is the only reason that we could ask for opioid settlement funds for all of the program, because we do, we include heroin and those substances in training the kids. So anyway, and they thought that the use of opioid funds was a great use for Prime for Life. So we're grateful for your past support, the many, many years, and we look forward to your continued support using opioid settlement funds for as long as you have them. Maybe someday, maybe they'll be gone, But in the meantime, and I know you do always look at your 99s and approve all of them at the same time when you approve your budget. And this would fall under the 99s. However, because this can't be spent for anything else, I would think we could be assured of the total funding, But anyway, now, are there any questions about Prime for Life?
You laid out the program pretty well and what is currently going on.
Yes. And I was looking for something, and it was for a different reason. in 1977, and I went to the library the other day and I was looking at, I asked for the 1977 press news. And the main reason I was looking is that when Carter died, it brought back some memories because I attended his inauguration. There were 4 of us that went on Elmer Carlson's bus tour for a week for less than $300 for our hotel room and the bus and everything. Anyway, so I was really looking to see what was in that. And then, you just keep reading because there's so much information in those old reports and those old newspapers, not like now. But anyway, I found that in 1977, there was a survey done of the Osage School and of both the alcohol use, and then later, a couple weeks later, there was another one about drugs. And it was quite interesting. So anyway, I am going to go back and list all those things because I talked to Jay Pedley and he said, I would like to see those, given to the Substance Abuse Coalition. It was interesting. In 1977, there were, of the senior class, there were, I forget the percentage, a very high percentage, that said they got drunk more than 8 times a month. And then the 5th and 6th graders, when they were asked, they also had students that said they got drunk 8 times or more a month. Can you believe that?
Yeah. We have another meeting after this meeting, so I don't want to hurry you up.
No,
but-
anyway,
Yeah.
so anyway, that's, so I am going to go back and get some more facts. The methadone clinic startup, you all got some information, I understand, on that being handed out.
We got it.
So we are requesting, they're asking them for the funds from the 8 different counties that we serve. And I named the counties, if you have, I gave you all that information.
Yep.
And the total cost of the program is $155,698, but we're asking for $155,000. And Mitchell County is based on their population of 10,518 is, the request is for $13,473. And I, again, have spoken with both the sheriff and police departments, and I told you that and the other, and they both feel that it's important. And so it's a one-time request, and we are asking for that amount of money, and we intend to see our first patient by July of this year. There are a number of hoops to go through. So that is something that I would like to kind of have the feeling of you, simply because I have to take this back to Prairie Ridge. They're all talking to every county this week. And if you're not going to fund it, or if you are going to fund it at that rate, I kind of need to know to take it back to them. So anyway, that's what we're asking for. Any questions?
We'll take a look at it, Betty.
Well, we appreciate all the support, and we're very appreciative of the opioid settlement funds. We wouldn't be asking for that from taxpayers' money, I mean,
Right.
I'm concerned about what the legislature might do on future reduction of property taxes, because we all know the best services come from the
No.
local, from property
That's
taxes.
good. Yeah, no, I read on that too.
No questions? Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Betty.
Thank you, Betty. Appreciate it. All right, we're moving on to number 6, meetings attended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had a Region 2 Policy Board meeting. What did we do? Let's see. There's a project that was estimated at 30% an increase, so that requires a public hearing. Went through that, had to do with the bridge project in Hancock County. And DOT update, they went through some of the stuff that they're doing in the North Iowa area. I asked about the Lansing Bridge, said completion is anticipated to be fall 2026. That seems kind of fast. So I hope I got that down right. But what they're working on right now is they're doing the abutments on the Iowa side, and there's some piers on the Iowa side that they're doing. The old bridge is still being used as the way to get across the river. What else did I have? The Port Authority meeting yesterday morning. The project in Worth County, which is going to be used for converting ethanol into jet fuel. They changed the location of the facility. It's still going to be in the Manly Terminal, but it's going to be a different location. And the reason for the Port Authority is to get natural gas into the North Iowa area. There's 4 counties that have teamed up to try to make this happen. So the current project is in Manly, Worth County. Mitchell County is not funding that project, so I just want to make that clear. There'll be 2 phases of the project as far as construction. One is called oil cleanup, and I'm not really sure what that exactly is. And then the other second phase is going to be the refinery. The loan process is starting up, and groundbreaking will happen sometime around the end of this year, beginning of 26. That's it for that. Then last night I had an NIACOG meeting in Mason City. There were 2 items on the agenda that were not able to happen, so it was basically just a meeting of general business to take care of general business within NIACOG. That's all I had.
I had budget meetings. I had a WAPC meeting, but we didn't have enough attendance, so we couldn't go forward with that. I had a landfill meeting. We went over our yearly audit. We're gonna get a new scale or pit, right? It's a pit, maybe a pit scale. That's kind of in the works. And they're talking about doing another cell. So eventually, I think 2027, 2028, they'll be talking about doing a new cell in the back. So they talked about possibly raising fees to prepare for that new cell cost, and we tabled that and just doing a lot. And that new cell will be big and huge, and so that'll be in the next 2 or 3 years for that. And then I had a NICOG meeting. We went over budgets, general discussion. There was a lot of discussions about who should be running the meeting, because there's 2, there's the committee and then the commission. Yeah, so the committee is for everybody, EMAs, supervisors, and then the commission is like for members only, so that would be the supervisors and the EMAs. Well, the EMA right now is the one is the chair, but someone may asked if that should actually be a supervisor, because they are the member and not the EMA, and it states in our code that it should be a member, so there's a lot of controversy over that, so we're gonna probably have a public hearing for that. And it turned into a big thing, so got a lot going on over there.
You can have a new job.
I hope, I don't know, they volunteered me, I was online. So yeah, that took up most of our conversation, so that's about it.
Okay. So, other than the budget meetings that we've had here in the last week, I attended the Mitchell County Conservation Board last Tuesday evening, and Mike pretty well reviewed the projects that they are wrapping up, the 2 boat docks, and they talked about those projects coming forward, working on those docks for FEMA flood repairs, and then they reviewed their budget that they presented here last week. So talked about the success of the recycling center, and so that was great. It's a great service. That's all I got.
I just had a Shell Rock watershed meeting, the election of officers, and then they're combining with the Winnebago watershed to get more finances and resources to have more projects done between the 2 watersheds.
At a fair board meeting, went to our committee reports, carnival contract's been signed, sent back, tractor pull, contract is being signed. There'll be top trucks again Thursday, Friday will be the rodeo. The Friday and Saturday afternoon, evening music contracts have been signed. We had talked about the show arena for the new building. I think consensus was to use what we have for this year just to see how things set up once the building's up, rather than purchase anything and then rearrange and, because we don't know how it's gonna look. The building, if the winds would ever slow up, they would definitely get started on it. So it's all here, so, but it's just so windy that cold doesn't bother them as much as the wind with the I-beams and all that kind of stuff, so. Hopefully we'll see some progress soon on it, so. Talked about a few other, the food vendors. I'm not sure where they're all gonna go. There's still people calling that wanna come and.
That's a good sign.
So it's a good thing, I guess. So,
Absolutely.
and then, the Little Devil Mat Club was going to, quit renting and using the building where they set up their food. But, they've kind of gotten, because the help was getting thin. But we got the younger kids coming up and new families, and they decided to, give it another shot this year and see how it went, so. That's it.
Thank you.
Public comments. Keith,
You said that landfill tabled tipping fees, we actually voted not to raise.
we did, I'm sorry, I did say that wrong.
I just wanted to clarify that they did not raise tipping fees.
I thought of that in my head after I said that, and then
And the question on the moratorium extension, is this because of a late discovery in the process of doing permitting, or why is this extended?
The ordinance took longer than what was first anticipated to draft the ordinance.
so since,
It's not late, you just didn't have enough moratorium to begin with, or didn't have enough time, or?
I guess it was a guess at the beginning when the moratorium was first put together, how long it would take to draft the ordinance, and that was.
when we did the moratorium, Amanda was going to be out on leave, and then she came back after her leave and she only had 12 months.
But didn't this group agree to pick up needs of planning and zoning when she's off?
Yes, but she did state at that time, I asked if I should take over that, and she said no, she needs to look at it before any of us can look at it, so she has not seen the complete draft, is what I'm understanding. So until she comes back, then we won't be able to view it until she comes back.
That don't make a lot of sense to me, but why?
I understand.
There's one person holding a lot of stuff up.
Yes. Stan?
Basically, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, the Plymouth Junction wind farm was the one that made the proposal to come here to Mitchell County, and of course, a few of the surrounding counties. Since that time, you have put on this moratorium. What you are dealing with is Plymouth Junction at public meetings right here in Osage has explained that their project could amount to as much as $50 million of TIF revenue money for Mitchell County. $50 million. Look at how much money that would do projects here in Mitchell County. I am very concerned with your 9-month moratorium. You are also dealing with the Trump administration. The Trump administration in the next 4, 5, 6, 7 months could decide to eliminate the tax credits for windmills. Basically getting rid of your $50 million of possible TIF revenues. If I were you folks, I would be putting this on a priority to try to get this done as soon as possible so that you do not lose the Plymouth Junction wind farm. To me, it's a no-brainer. Thank you.
Any other comments?
You just mentioned something, I think you said something about scales when you were talking about landfill.
Yeah.
Are you doing a new scales or?
We're doing a new pit scale
To weigh the trucks.
to weigh the trucks, yeah.
Well, yeah, and is that going to be in a different location then, of course?
No, it'll be in the same location.
Oh, okay. I was on that board, that's why I went.
Yeah, no problem. Yes.
So if you did get the ordinance finished up, could you shorten the moratorium, or is that pretty well done to?
No,
You could do that, yeah.
Have the resolution just says
That
done.
you're ready to remove it.
Yeah.
You pretty confident in September 1st on this part of the conversation?
I am. Yeah. I think it would be quicker than that, but
Again, we're on a 3-month hold here, so he said it could take 3 to 4 months for the process to actually go through, so if she's not back until March, it will be July, possibly.
And I believe they are doing their studies right now. We gave them that opportunity to, while we're putting this together, they are doing their wind studies and stuff out there right now. So some things are moving along.
the wind turbines looked at the ordinance and they did not, I didn't speak with them, but this is through Amanda. They didn't really have an issue with in regards to how it was done as far as the setbacks and that type of stuff. They are the ones that called it out that there are, and they called it procedural conflicts. Within the draft of the ordinance, there's procedural conflicts on how that would overlap with our existing zoning ordinance, and they thought that that should be cleaned up. So then that's why we got hold of NIACOG, and this John Robbins that spoke today, he's a planning and zoning guy, he's experienced in that, so he's cleaning all of that up, and it's basically has been done, and it's just needs to come back to the.
Yeah, I don't want to be inconsistent in your own policies.
That's right, we don't want something, a violation of something happening with each other, so.
Sounds good. Any other comments? No. I will adjourn the meeting at 9:38.